Hello, I'm Laura the Library Lady, and welcome to my YouTube channel and my special coronavirus series. This series is designed to help students and parents get through our sessions of being closed due to the virus. Every day, I will have a short activity for you all to do at home. Please remember, due to the virus, children and anyone who's sick should stay home. It is very easy to spread the virus because anyone can be affected and infected. So please be careful and remember to wash your hands and do not touch your face. So if you're at home and you're wondering, what can I do? I can't go anywhere. There's many things you can do. One of the things that I love to do is to read the paper. I love reading the paper because I always find stories that I think are interesting. Many people don't read the newspapers anymore, but they used to come out daily. Now they come out 2 or 3 times a week. You can get a national newspaper or one that's in your local area. I live near Baltimore in Maryland, so this is the Baltimore Sun. And because I'm a teacher, I work very hard and sometimes I get behind in my reading. So today's issue is March 8th, even though it's March 14th at the time of this recording. So I wanted to read this article, Rest in Power, Katherine Johnson. This is the title of the article. And the subtitle is Her Hidden Figures Story Inspired Young People, including a bubbling astronaut from Chicago, to chase their dreams. This was written by Heidi Stevens. She is the author of this article. And we have a picture of Katherine Johnson. And when we have writing under a picture, it's called a caption. And the caption reads, Katherine Johnson, a historic NASA mathematician whose work ensured safe landing for astronauts, died at 101 in Newport News, Virginia. This photo was taken at NASA in 1966. So this is a picture of her as a younger person. There's also another picture here. This is a picture of a young lady. The caption for this picture reads, Chicago student Akasiwa Hines won first place in a 2018 Library of Congress contest for her letter to Margaret Lee Shutterly, the author of Hidden Figures. So in this article, we have 3 pictures, one of the author, one of the subject of the article, and another person of interest who we are learning about. And we know that it's the Baltimore Sun, it's the Life and Travel section, because all newspapers have sections. We have, it's Sunday, March 8th, 2020. And this is a special family issue. So the paper is very well labeled. I'm going to read a portion of this article to you. Remember, this article is not written by me, but by Heidi Stevens. And this is what Heidi writes. I thought about Akusa Hines last month when I read about the death of NASA mathematician Katherine Johnson at age 101. This is Miss Johnson in a picture taken of her in 1966. Johnson was a human computer whose exacting calculations launched John Glenn into orbit and, equally important, brought him safely back to Earth. Her work and life remained largely unknown to the public at large until Margaret Lee Shutterly published her best-selling book, Hidden Figures, the story of the African-American women who helped win the space race, which inspired the 2016 Oscar-nominated movie Hidden Figures, who starred Taraji Henson, who starred as Johnson. Akusia is a Chicago middle schooler who so loved Hidden Figures that she penned a letter to Shutterly to let the author know the book cemented her decision to become a NASA astronaut. The letter won first place in a Library of Congress writing contest that invited 4th through 12th graders to write authors and let them know the impact of their work. Close to 47,000 students from across the United States entered the contest. Akusa, a fifth grader at St. Thomas the Apostle School in Hyde Park, Illinois, at the time won the 4th through 6th grade division. That was in 2018. I asked contest organizers to put me in touch with Akusa so I could tell her congratulations and hear more about her story. She told me she began planning her plans to be an astronaut at age 4. I've dressed up like an astronaut for at least 4 Halloweens now, she said at the time. I really want to be an astronaut. They study planets in space, and if we go to Mars, which we probably will, I want to be able to grow my own food in space and not just frozen things. She threw a Hidden Figures themed birthday party in 4th grade, and she made clear that her friends were to show up prepared. Everybody had to read the book, period, she told me. You had to be 2/3 done with the book, or you just couldn't come. She told Shutterly all about the birthday party in her letter. I wanted them to read your book, to see the magic in math and how useful it can be, she wrote. Right before my party, I looked up the definition for analytical geometry because Katherine used it to calculate the trajectory of John Glenn's Mercury capsule. Useful magic. Although John Glenn respected Katherine Johnson, Akusa continued, they lived in 2 different worlds. When I read about the discrimination Katherine and the computers had to put up with, people not trusting them, separate bathrooms, it made me think what it would have been like to live in the Jim Crow time period. I asked myself if I would have been able to work so well under that type of pressure. I felt proud of Miss Johnson. Akusa's parents took her to southern Illinois to watch the solar eclipse in August of 2017. She finished reading Hidden Figures on the train ride back, and she told Shutterly about that too. When the moon had completely covered the sun, Akusa wrote, I looked up and wondered how Katherine Johnson felt when she helped John Glenn orbit the Earth. It was my job, Johnson told the Daily Press in 2016. They gave me questions and I worked on them. They wanted to go to the moon, so I looked up the distance to the moon and worked up the equations about how long it would be in space before it got there. It's impossible to measure the ripples made by light, especially a life that lasted more than a century. We don't have an equation